I'm delighted to welcome Laurie Macpherson here to the Bright Work podcast, a series that we're doing on careers, but people with really interested in careers. And I don't think I've been captivated so much by anyone recently as much as I have been by Laurie Macpherson, who's a career wingwoman. What a job title, but what a story. So, Laurie, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Shan.
Career wingwoman. Now, there's a job title and a half. I've seen them all. I've been in recruitment for 24 years and I've seen plenty of job titles. But what you do really is a wingwoman. What is it you do?
So I support mostly women into jobs that they absolutely love at the salary that they deserve. I help them to work out what they want when they're feeling a bit stuck or a bit unsure, or they're made redundant, or it's time for change. Whatever comes up for them, and then I help them to work out what do you want to do, and let's go and get it. And I use ways that are working now. Now, as you know, the last few years have been nothing if not interesting, and what worked during COVID isn't working anymore. You know, the work market is constantly changing. So I help them work out what employers want and need from them right now so that they can get a great job that suits them in whatever way that might be, whether it looks like flex or salary or whatever. And then they also get the money and the benefits that they need from that by I show them how to ask for them.
Well, tell you what, that's really interesting because I'm going to say to you, after working in recruitment for so long, there's so many women that I've met that have maybe come in through as candidates and have been struggling to get what they want, can't get the flexibility they want, or they feel that their self-worth, and certainly in some of the male-dominated sectors, has been knocked out of them, if that makes sense. And so,
yeah.
Whilst we are now living in a society where there's a push for us to be as diverse and equal and create equity for all in the workplace, but I've seen it myself. This isn't the case. So, what's going on here? Why is this? Well, tell me.
The confidence issue, being told from birth that you can't shout about yourself, that you have to be humble, that you have to be subservient, that you have to be doing all the things for other people all the time. Women end up putting themselves last an awful lot. Now, Shan, this isn't something I have fallen foul of at all. But most women do have this idea that they are least important, and what they need and want is least important out of everything. And the mentality that there aren't many jobs and I should be lucky, or I'd be lucky to get flex, all of this sort of stuff. I argue back with it. No, we're not lucky to have jobs that we enjoy and that give us a bit of flexibility and let us live our lives and do our work. Yes, there is an element of privilege and not everybody gets flex. I'm fully aware of that. I worked in retail for many years, travel, hospitality. I know what it's like to have to be boots on the ground with another couple of team members at all times. But I think the idea that, we need to be supporting women to understand what skills they have got, that their experience does matter, and giving them some of what they need. Because if we don't, what we're seeing, what's happening now, we are massively short in loads and loads and loads of sectors in the UK right now of talented, skilled staff. And a lot of that is because employers will not bend to allow people a little bit of flex. So it's just impossible to make it work, often for women, often around childcare or elder people care. And women during COVID in droves took the hit and just came out of the workplace because it was easier than trying to navigate schools constantly opening and shutting. Even this year, constant striking. I was in the doctors and my nurse said to me, my daughter can't now get away for a week's holiday with her family because she's had to cover so many strikes. That's what women are up against.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a real insight into it. You touched on this here as well, Laurie, is that, we live in a different world now, right? So there is shortages everywhere. There's a demand for good workers, good employees, whatever sector, whatever it may be. I'd never seen it like this in all my years. And now's the time for the employer to change their mindset, because they have to be more flexible. What do people want in the workplace? Not just women, but they want flexibility. They want decent pay and conditions. They want to be treated with respect and dignity. And I suppose you put that in its entirety, right, in the work that you're doing to build the confidence then of those women that are predominantly women anyway that are trying to get into the workplace but maybe don't have it. So that's outstanding. So what do you do? Tell me, if I'm coming to you and I'm saying, Laurie, I'm at my wit's end, can't find a job and I'm really struggling with my role that I'm in and I want I want out and I want a new job, but I don't think I can do it.
Yeah, so first of all, I'll tell you to stop playing with your CV immediately. Stop it and stop it now. It's procrastination. It feels like action. It's not, because we don't know where that CV is going yet. So it's a total, complete and utter waste of time, which women, I get it. Yesterday, I had a lovely call with a lovely lady. I'll go and sort my CV. And I said, I'll stop you right there. Please don't, because you don't know where it's going. You don't know what's important to them, and you don't know what skills we're pulling out. So all I need from you is a dump of dates and duties. I will do the rest. So that feels, it's procrastination, right? Do not do not pass go. First things first are, what do you want? So work out what you want. Now, it's like buying a house. You might not get everything. The garden, not too near your mother, but near enough, close to the school. We might not get it all in a winner, but what we want is plan A. I also ask my women, how long have we got in plan A? Don't need to tell me your sums, but oh, well, we've got plenty of time. Right, okay, so we've got loads of time, so we don't need to panic. I first of all establish we don't need to come from a place of panic. We come from a place of, we're going to start exploring our options. Now, we need to be realistic. We all have bills to pay, but also what's feasible and realistic. Sometimes people need out, Shan, so I say to them, first thing first, get out of where you are. It's toxic, it's a nightmare. The next job doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to get you out. So sometimes we have to look at low-hanging fruit. What's likely, what could be a next easy move that's an easy sale for you to get you out, to get you in, to get you some stability, a month, 6 months, a year's cash under your belt, then we go again. But first of all, what do you actually want, and is that feasible right now? And know that you have choices. And if you're choosing to stay in a job you hate because of the salary, that's still a choice. You know, you're choosing not to do the things that could make that change. Absolutely fine. No judgment. And know that there is, you know, there's a lot of judgment from other folk. I'm not giving you it. But, you know, what are the choices? What are the things that you want and could like to do? And I do a bit of a process of exploration. What do we like? What are we good at? Which, by the way, are not always the same thing. And lots of women fall into the trap of, I'll just keep doing that because I'm good at it. And it is an easy move. Actually, is this the time to say, stop, look at what we really want? And I let them take the emotion out of it. We don't apply for jobs we don't want. We're not going there. We're not going back. We've shut the door on that. Just because we've always done it doesn't mean we always need to do it. The first thing to realise is you're likely to have 5 to 7 careers. Now, you're not getting a gold clock from the place you are now. It's no coming. So let's stop having that identity of I am a something. Instead, have the identity of I will do this, this and this in my career. Remember that time I did this. That was great for that reason. I loved working there with him or her. That's how we look at it, as the big, juicy, squiggly, messy picture of our career. Mine's has been dead squiggly, and yours is likely to be too. So let's not get ingrained and I have to. Let's think about mights and maybes and coulds and possibilities. Rule some stuff out. Oh, actually, I don't want to do that. The starting salary is dead low. I need to study for 4 years. That's not feasible. Great. We've ruled it out from a place of knowing, not from guessing.
What a start. And I think that line of take out the emotion, because it is so emotive, isn't it? You've been in a job for years, you maybe hate your boss, you hate where you are, you don't get what you're not respected. But it's the emotion, isn't it? And, you know, I just need a job, I need to get out. You've just laid it bare, isn't it? Why? What is it you want? What is it you want? Where is it you're going? Yeah. Full stop. Yeah. Well done. That's it. So you're going to help and support Laurie. So this is my point about then, when somebody's looking for a job and I see this, you know, I work in recruitment. Let's be honest, recruiters don't have a great reputation. I'm not going to deny that, Laurie. And look, I can see you nodding your head. Anyone I say that to, they always nod their head. There's good recruiters and there's bad recruiters, the way I look at it. But whenever an application comes into me, there's a process on this other end, or for you know, colleagues or experience would say there's a process, and you're trying to ascertain suitability, how do they fit in, going to tell me something here, Laurie, I've been working in this industry far too long. From the external, how do you deal with a recruitment agency and a consultant, given reputation and all this stuff, all the rest?
You treat them like a human being. Yeah, but you also treat them like a gatekeeper. So I've worked in employability a lot before I started to do this. So my clients were traditionally out of work for years, lots of barriers, lots of stuff going on. And I'd hear them on the phone saying, I've been sacked from my last 6 jobs, pal. And I'm going, whoa, recruiter is not your friend. You know, recruiter is the gatekeeper to the job. The recruiter does not work for you. They work for the client. not to the candidate. We must get this right in our own head. You have to show them how you can be of use to them for filling their roles at this time. If you don't, they won't phone you back, they won't email you back, they won't LinkedIn you back, and you'll never hear from them. End of story. They're not doing anything wrong, because remember, their job is filling a bum on a seat for a client, and they want to make sure you're going to stay in that job so that they get their cash at the end of the 6 months. That's how it works. And when I actually tell people, all right, that's how recruitment works, they only get what they get when you are in role and stable. Usually, there's sometimes, you know, sign-on bonuses and whatnot. But when you actually explain that to people, the reason they're not getting back to you is because you haven't positioned yourself in a way that they see you as a viable candidate. But the other part of that is phone them up, ask them, have a conversation. Yes, you might have to do a bit of chasing. Yes, they're super busy, but can you have a conversation? The thing people tend not to do, and I saw a good recruitment post about this last week, he put up a graduate role, really nice pay and all that in tech, 300 applicants, not one phoned him and said, did you get my application? Not one phoned and said, would you be putting, so what I would say to folk is apply through the ether as always, but then pick up the phone. There's always a name. My best piece of advice for anything, scroll to the bottom. There'll be a human mentioned somewhere. Phone up, Shan, I'm really interested in this role. Is that the sort of thing you could see yourself putting me forward for? Okay, if not, is there anything I can change, or is there anything else you're working on at the minute? And then keep rinse and repeat until you get a job, not in a pest way, not in every 5 minutes, every couple of weeks. Speak to your recruiter folk. Some of them will be better than others. I have been not only given jobs by recruiter, great contacts when I worked retail for years, I also got one of my really good pals at the time, her dream job. I was in work, the email came to me, she's like, Laurie, I don't suppose you know anybody. Yes, I do. This is this person's favourite brand in the world. Got her out of a job she wasn't loving into that thing, and you sometimes I've had finder's fee as well. So recruiters are your friend. You have to know that they're not your pal. You know, you have to treat them as the gatekeeper. So sacked from Elastic's jobs, don't want to hear it. And also, I don't really know what I want. I'm quite flexible. It's absolutely no use to you, because you want to know where you can place them in your mental and virtual filing cabinet, and you're busy. So tell me what you want. Women particularly, I don't really mind. No, it's actually much easier for you to deal with, and correct me if I'm wrong, if they say, I want this money, this hybrid flex arrangement, this is my title, this, and this. Because when that comes into you, you can go, that's for Sandra. And also, if you're speccing out, you can go, I need this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
And I also tell them, if you've seen a job that another agency's got on, phone your recruiter up and see if they'll want to get it off them. That's their job. No one's asking you to pick up the phone and do the awkward conversation. Or if you see something coming, if you see something getting built, contract, have your ear to the ground. Who do you think might be? I did it a lot during the beginning. Who's handling that contract? Oh, it's them. Right, great. Get onto them, because I needed to place people. So understanding how recruitment works takes the emotion out. Nobody gets back to me. There's a reason for that. And it's not because they're a bad person. Usually it's because you don't fit the brief right now.
And do you know what, Laurie, that's so spot on. And I would say, I have a bit of a jaded view of recruitment, probably working in it for so long, but you're right. If a candidate comes and says, this is what I want, this is where I want to sit, and they've got a clear view of it, fantastic. And if it's way over the salary expectations that are realistic, we'll tell them and say, hold on, you're pushing it. Oh, you want a hybrid working, you want a hybrid job in this sector, it's not going to happen, but this is what you could get. Honesty and openness with recruiters is probably the best way forward. And I think, well, it's not probably, it is the best way forward, but you're absolutely, they are people to form a relationship with them. They're not there to be your pal. You're absolutely right. But if they see you as a good candidate, as you said, for potential other roles, or whatever it may be, keep close to them. Don't let them drift. And if they don't return your emails, don't return your calls, don't take it personally. Ask them, is everything okay? Can I do anything else? You're absolutely right. So that's well said. And I think there's good recruiters going, yep, she's spot on. There's bad recruiters going, no, don't listen to her. So, Laurie, you've had a career, this is great. And, you mentioned this hospitality retail. What's drove you to do what you do then? Because you're working for yourself, you're helping people. What's driven you?
So very honestly, I worked in employability, and we got made redundant, but we knew for a while that it was coming. Our contracts, the way that they work were through the government obviously changed. Things went under different programs, and I just thought this is a golden opportunity for me. I was getting a bit of cash, not lots. I'd only worked for them for a couple of years, but I was getting enough cash that would see me through a wee bit. I'm in a pretty a wee house and all that. And I thought, this is a perfect opportunity for me to go and do the bits that I like. So the group facilitation, the working with the people, and not so much the bits I don't like. And I did a wee bit of management training, a bit of employability, self-employed. And then I actually sort of slightly pivoted during COVID more into the work that I do now, because I was doing a lot of training with managers, and they were asking for how do we staff remotely. I've no idea, I've never done it. So what I could do was help people to get jobs, and obviously at the time lots of industries were shut, so there was much less work about. So it was a really tough time for lots of folk, and really lots of pulling out skills and all that, and some folk just taking a job, which I did myself. I worked in Tesco for 8 weeks right at the start. I had to, just to get out of the house, because I knew that I would quickly sink mentally had I not something to do. I'm a really busy, sociable, extroverted person. So that kind of, really, it was built off the demand of, this is what people need and I can give them it, so why would I not? So, and from then on in, just seeing the joy and the results that it comes from it. I've just had someone get a start today on a program that I'm working for through a partner organisation. The guy has 2 degrees, but he has autism, and he's got a contract today with a big company to do the thing he wants to do, and that is the best feeling in the world ever. It will never not be. And he sent me the most lovely text after saying, I've had a really rough couple of months, and he just wasn't presenting himself in the right way. His CV was leading with the wrong stuff instead of the stuff he was wanting to get into. He was talking about stuff he'd done in the past, and I just said, right, let's just change this up. Get back out there, phone those old recruiters back who wouldn't hire you because they thought you worked here, but actually you worked there, but you haven't presented it like that. And he probably had 40 things to apply for in the first couple of weeks, started to get interviews, pretty rapid style. And when you can see someone's on the path to the job is coming.
That's it.
So that's it. The Friday afternoon, I've got the job, will never not be my favourite thing in the whole wide world.
Okay, there you go. Wow. So you're helping people that need the help, and that's that satisfaction that you're talking about, isn't it? Because it's not about getting somebody who's already in a good job, get a better job and a better house and a better car. It's actually the people that really need that lift up, that step up, Laurie, and that's what you've been doing since.
Yeah.
Well, what a story, and how driven is that? Laurie, can I ask, if somebody wants to contact you, what's the best way? We can put the links on, whatever you need to do, but tell me, how's the best way to contact you?
Yeah, LinkedIn is my happy place. I'm on there all the time, just Laurie Macpherson. I'm career wing woman. I have an unusual name, which is good. You'll find me there. I'm also on Insta and Facebook, and I have an email list and all of the things. All of the things, but usually you'll find me on LinkedIn dispensing advice and siding with recruiters 7 days a week.
Good for you. Laurie, we will put the link onto your LinkedIn as well, and anyone wants to search. If you are looking for a job, LinkedIn's a great place to start, the first place to start. Get in touch with Laurie, and hopefully she can give you the pointers and advice and the support that you need. Laurie Macpherson, Career Wing Woman, thank you very much for talking to me today.
Thank you so much for having me.